You have 5 seconds before the door is sealed. 5, 4, 3, 2...
At the beginning of the movie, we see a man running through a forest in the west of Ireland. After some time, he crosses a point of no return, and we learn that he is seeking help for his wife. However, after a while, he realizes he has returned to the same point where he started, and to his shock, he discovers that 7 hours have passed. And just then, a flock of birds starts passing above him. The man tries to climb a tree, but after ascending a bit, a branch suddenly breaks, causing him to fall to the ground and get badly injured. He takes out a knife from his bag for safety, and hears the chittering of some creature. He then sees a creature emerging from the fog and moving toward him, and before he can comprehend what is happening, the creature drags him away. We then see Mina, an American immigrant working in a pet shop in Galway, Ireland. Mina's boss shows her a golden conure parrot and assigns her the task of delivering it to a zoo in Belfast. Since she will be delivering the parrot tomorrow, she brings it home for the night and tells the parrot that her mother died 15 years ago today. She also mentions that she is going out tonight and jokingly says, "Try not to die." And as she gets up to leave, the parrot repeats what she just said. The next day, Mina sets out to deliver the parrot. On the way, she receives a voice message from her twin sister Lucy, who tells her that their mom's memorial ceremony was beautiful. Lucy expresses concern for Mina, and here we learn that Mina is estranged from her. Mina then leaves there, and as she does, we see many missing posters on a board. Sometime later, while driving through a forest, Mina's phone malfunctions. Soon after, her car radio turns off, and then her car stops suddenly. As she gets out of her car to check, the parrot unexpectedly says, "Try not to die." Mina notices a board in the distance, and as she approaches it, she sees the words "No point of return" written on it. She returns to her car thinking someone lives nearby and decides to walk. She calls out for help but gets no response, so she decides to go back to the car. However, when she turns around, she's shocked to find that the car is no longer there. Confused and alarmed, she starts searching for the car, trying to make sense of what's happening. After a while, she decides to name the parrot Darwin, resigning that if they are gonna die here together, he might as well have a name. Just then, a flock of bats comes flying towards her and goes away from there. Scared, Mina scrambles to her feet, and just then the ground begins to rumble. She is then petrified as she hears a guttural screeching sound echoing through the forest. Mina notices an old woman who starts running when she sees her. Mina follows, desperately seeking help and warning about something out there. The woman tells her that if she cares for her life, she's going to have to run. As terrifying screeches fill the air, Mina sprints and jumps into the bunker, and the old woman quickly locks it behind them. Mina asks her what is happening and what is this place, to which the old woman says they call it the coop. She introduces herself as Madeline, the girl is Kiara, and the boy is Daniel, and they are lost just like her. She then tells Mina that they don't have much time, and it's not wise to keep them waiting. She instructs Ciara to stand by Mina to calm her down. After this, they all stand in a line, and Madeline tells her that they call them the Watchers. She tells Mina that she knows she must be feeling very afraid, but she wants her to know that she will be all right. She explains that the Watchers cannot come in. They just want to look at her. Ciara explains that there is a window on the other side, and they come every night after sunset, and they watch them until the sun rises again. Madeline then asks Mina to take a step forward, and as she does, Mina hears strange noises, like rattling and rumbling. Madeline explains that these sounds are applause for her, welcoming Mina to the show. The next morning, Mina decides to leave, and when Ciara and Daniel try to stop her, Madeline tells them to let her go. Thinking the people are crazy, Mina tells Darwin they'll find the car and be home soon, but only then she hears someone whispering her name, and is shocked to see her sister Lucy standing in the distance, asking, "Why did you do that?" Terrified, Mina tries to run away from there, but after some time she realizes that she is trapped. Later, Madeline approaches Mina and tells her that everyone has tried to escape but failed. She asks her to come with her and explains that the forest is known to cause hallucinations. She mentions that there are landmarks positioned across the forest in a nearly perfect circle, each about a half-day's journey from the coop. If they stay within this boundary, there's hope of returning by nightfall. However, if they step over the line, there is no turning back. Mina asks, who built the landmarks? To which Madeline responds, the professor. The next day, Ciara tells Mina about her husband John, with whom she had come to the forest. Mina asks where he is, and Ciara explains that he left 6 days ago and hasn't returned. When Mina asks what the Watchers want from them, Ciara says they're not sure, but Madeline has a theory that just seeing one could drive a person mad. Ciara then takes Mina to a burrow, but warns her not to get too close. She explains that these burrows are scattered throughout the forest, connected by underground tunnels, and it's where the Watchers go during the daylight hours. Mina asks her how long she has been there, to which she replies, nearly 5 months. Later, they tell Mina a few rules. Do not turn your back to the mirror. Do not open the door after dark. Do not go near the burrows, and always stay in the light. Madeline explains that they are in the Watchers' territory, and the Watchers allow them to live because they follow these rules. That night, like every other night, the Watchers come out of the coop. Mina, curious and desperate, tries to communicate with them by tapping on the window glass. She then presses her ear to the glass, but a terrifying growling sound makes her jump back to the couch in fear. Moments later, the Watchers start thumping on the window, and Madeline advises Mina to hold still, saying, just let them see you. The next day, Daniel tells Mina that Madeline used to teach at a university and has been in the forest much longer than any of them. Mina hears a girl's laugh echoing and sees her sister Lucy again, but decides to ignore it. She asks Daniel how long he has been there, and he replies, around 8 months. When she asks if he has ever seen a Watcher, Daniel says, no one sees a Watcher and survives. She somehow convinces him to follow her to the burrow, and when he tries to stop her from going inside, she asks him if he don't want to know what Watchers are. He then helps her get into the burrow, but warns her not to step out of the sunlight. In the burrow, Mina finds a 1982 newspaper, as well as a video camera and a bicycle, which she sends up to Daniel. However, before she can get out, one of the Watchers arrives. As it tries to approach her, its hand gets burned and Daniel throws the rope. Madeline asks them where they found all this, to which Mina replies, out by Daniel's spot, and suggests they could use the bicycle to find a way out. Just then, Daniel calls them in, and Madeline stops Mina and asks if she saw something that scared her. But Mina says no. Daniel tells them that somehow electronics are working here, and suggests the professor must have created some sort of power source. He connects the video camera to the TV, and says that if they put it outside tonight, they will be able to see the Watchers. That night, they begin to wait for the Watchers to arrive, and Madeline suggests they act as if everything is normal. After a while, someone tries to open the door, and they see a figure standing outside. However, Madeline insists this is a trick by the Watchers. She then asks Mina to be honest with her and inquires if she broke the rules. Just then, the man outside begins to cough, and Ciara recognizes John's voice. John asks her to open the door, but Madeline stands by the door and says they do not open it after sunset. She tells Ciara that the Watchers are baiting them, and this is a trick. She then asks Mina what she did and where she went, to which Mina admits she went down into a burrow, and Daniel adds that he helped her. Ciara insists her husband is outside, and she is opening the door, but Madeline stops her and suggests asking him something only he would know. Ciara asks him what book she is reading, to which he responds that he doesn't know. Ciara then asks him to pick up the camera and bring it to his face so the others can see it's him, and that he is alone. John shows his face to the camera, but is suddenly dragged away, and Mina and Daniel then see a Watcher staring into the camera, before it abruptly attacks the camera and takes it away. They all gather in front of the window and watch as the Watchers attack the glass, trying to get in. Madeline warns that if the glass breaks, it's over for them. She asks everyone to get behind her, and soon after, the Watchers abruptly leave. The next day, Madeline throws the bicycle into the burrow and tells them they will find another way out. In a flashback, we see Mina and Lucy going on a drive with their mother. Their mother asks Mina to roll up the window, but when she doesn't comply, her mother does it herself, saying she doesn't understand why Mina can't follow the rules. Mina opens the window again, and when her mother closes it, Mina's fingers get stuck in it, distracting their mother and leading to an accident. Many months pass and winter arrives, making the days shorter. Despite this, Mina is still preparing to find a way out of the forest. She returns to the coop and tells Ciara that Daniel and Madeline are arguing again, and she can't stand the sound of their fighting. After a while, Mina notices that Ciara is not there and realizes she has gone out. She rushes out looking for her and finds her near a burrow. Ciara says, "John was there that night, and she should be with him." Mina asks her not to be silly, and just then, they hear Daniel scream. They rush over and find that Daniel has tied Madeline's hands. And when Ciara asks what he is doing, he says, "Our rules now." He then runs away, and Ciara follows him, while Mina rushes to untie Madeline. They both rush back to the coop and ask Daniel to open the door, but he refuses, and only then, Mina sees a flock of bats flying. Ciara asks Daniel why he did that, to which he responds that something had to change. Meanwhile, Madeline takes Mina to hide under a rotting tree to mask their scent. After a while, something drips on Mina, and they realize a watcher is directly above them. It then leaves and rushes towards the house, and to Mina and Madeline's horror, they watch as it stands up and shrieks loudly, prompting other watchers to come there. And after a while, they see many watchers standing in front of them moving towards the coop. As they approach Daniel and Ciara, Daniel declares that they are not in there with them, causing the watchers to immediately scatter in search of them. Madeline and Mina rush back to the coop and plead with Daniel to open the door. Mina confides in him about her sister Lucy and blames herself for their mother's death when they were young. She admits she doesn't think she's a good person, but she believes Daniel is, and such things will haunt him for life. Daniel opens the door, allowing them to quickly enter and lock it behind them, and Madeline asks everyone to gather in front of the mirror. Madeline reveals that, unlike the others, she came to this place willingly. She knew what lay within, but it was only the night she saw one for the first time that she understood the grave danger of this place. She recounts how, as the sun was setting, she hurried back to the coop. She heard something, and pushing through the trees, she saw herself, though not a perfect replica. She explains that the Watchers are an ancient species known by many names, like changelings, the winged people, and fairies, and they observe them because they study them, aiming to become like them. Only then does someone bang on the door, and then the Watchers surround the coop from all sides and start saying something in their voices. Madeline and others try to secure the entry, and only then Ciara notices a secret door hidden under a carpet. As the Watchers try to break in, Ciara and Daniel manage to open the door just in time, and they all rush into the basement safely as the Watchers breach the coop. Once in the basement, they find a well-stocked facility with enough food to last for years. Mina notices a computer there, and upon opening it, they find Professor Rory Kimlarton's video diary from 2009, documenting his study of the Watchers. From the diary, they learn that Rory hired 13 laborers a day to build the facility. At the end of each day, he urged the workers to eat supper outside, while he quietly slipped into the bunker, waiting for their screams to subside. He mentions that the facility was built on the blood of innocent people, all in the pursuit of knowledge, he supposes. In another video, Rory mentions that one of the Watchers appeared to him in the form of a little girl with red hair. This creature was different from the others, as it was traveling alone and seemed curious and innocent. He comments that, with the power of duplication, one could even cheat death. Then, he shows the creature on camera, revealing that he had held it captive. Mina then plays the last video, in which Rory says it has been 300 days, and he has realized that he has been stripped of all humanity. The creature he has grown so fond of is waiting for him upstairs, and he plans to kill it and then himself. He then discloses the location of the boat he has left, where the birds leave the woods. He says, "If you found your way here, get to the boat, follow the birds, go to his office at the university, and destroy everything you find, as some things are meant to be left in the past." He then heads upstairs, and the sound of 2 gunshots echoes. The next day, they all set out to find a way out of the forest. Madeline warns them that the forest will do everything in its power to keep them inside, so they must remember what is real and what is not. Mina sets Darwin free, saying they will follow his lead. As they move forward, they come across something, and Madeline explains that this must be where the fairies were imprisoned. It is said they once lived among them as the bridge between nature and man, but over time, their powers began to frighten humans. Humans and fae were at war, and they were banished to a tomb deep underground, sealed in by a great door that prevented them from ever returning the way they came in. For centuries, they clawed towards the surface, only to discover they had lost their wings and magic, and could never leave this forest. After this, they continue their journey, and just as night begins to fall, it starts raining. Madeline informs them that they are nearly there, but suddenly Mina notices a flock of bats flying towards them, signaling the Watchers are out, looking for them. The Watchers give chase, but they all manage to reach the river, and as they run towards the boat, Daniel stops hearing John's voice calling his name, pleading for help. The others reach the boat, but Ciara notices that Daniel is missing, and to their shock, they see him dragging John out of the forest. Ciara tries to warn him that it's not John, but it's too late, as the Watcher kills Daniel by slitting his throat. As they leave, other Watchers arrive, but Madeline reassures Mina that the Watchers cannot leave the forest. The Watcher then transforms into Daniel, and the scene cuts as his screech echoes through the forest. The next morning, when Mina wakes up, she finds that Darwin is back. They then return to their homes, and in a flashback, we see that Lucy was badly injured in that accident, and her mother died. The next day, Mina visits the university, and in Rory's office, she finds a tape where Rory explains that life with the fairies was a golden era in the age of man. They lived among humans as guardians, friends, and even mates. The children born of both humans and fairies, known as half-bloods, were particularly skilled in transformation, capable of replicating those who had passed away. However, when humans cursed and banished the fairies, what happened to the halflings? History has labeled their bloodline extinct, but Rory suggests it has yet to be proven. Mina also finds some photographs there that shock her. She then visits Ciara and shows her the photographs, revealing that Madeline was Rory's wife, but she passed away in 2001 from lung cancer. Mina suggests that the Watcher Rory had down there in the bunker with him was for a reason. Perhaps he believed he could recreate a new Madeline. Ciara says they can't walk in the sunlight, to which Mina responds that Madeline must be different from the others, and suggests that Madeline is a Watcher. While waiting for Madeline, Mina tells Ciara that they have unleashed a monster, and they need to send it back. As Mina goes to put her cup in the sink, she finds cockroaches crawling there. Soon after, a vehicle approaches, but Mina is shocked to see that it's Ciara. Realizing that the Ciara with her is actually Madeline in disguise, she asks Madeline if she is here to kill them, to which Madeline replies that she is here to become her. As Ciara enters the house, Madeline transforms into John and knocks her down. Then, she grabs Mina and explains that they were once revered like gods, but humans drove them underground, forcing them to suffer like insects. Madeline shifts into Daniel and tells Mina that she is not different. She is driven by hatred and jealousy, and now that she knows her secret, she cannot be trusted. Mina promises not to tell anyone, but Madeline retorts that humans have broken promises before. Mina argues that they were like family in the coup-up, but Madeline reveals she was studying them closely and expresses gratitude because, without her, she would have remained trapped in the forest for eternity. She then transports out in the open and tells Mina that she had no idea how much the other Watchers made her suffer. Einriocton was the name they gave her at her birth, which means the Daywalker. When the professor came to the forest, she thought things might finally change. He promised he would show her the way out, but when he tried to shoot her, she had no choice but to kill him. She says she will not be betrayed again and transforms into Rory. Mina rushes in, looking for Ciara, only to be shocked to see that Madeline has now transformed herself into Mina and tells her that she can't run anymore and let end this as equals. Mina let her in, and Madeline suddenly attacked her, proclaiming that she would walk among humans in her body, and no one would notice the difference. Mina tells her she doesn't have to do this, and mentions that Rory never told her why she could walk in daylight and leave the forest when others couldn't. Madeline throws her down, prompting Mina to reveal the recording at the university. She suggested that her ability to walk in daylight might be because she is not just a watcher, but also part human. Mina says, Madeline knows what it is to be human. It's jealousy and hatred, but also love and forgiveness. Mina says she thinks there are others like her out there, and what if she could find them? Madeline regains her wings and flies out of the window, and when Mina follows her, Madeline expresses hope that Mina is right, and then flies into the forest. The next day, Lucy visits Mina, and Mina recounts her experience, expressing her belief that Madeline continues to linger, observing her in different forms. As they talk, Lucy's boys come running over and show their drawing to Mina, saying it's of her and Darwin. Darwin flies in and perches on the windowsill, and outside their building stands a girl with red hair, likely Madeline. Thanks for facing the frights with us. If you survived this video, drop a like, summon that subscribe button, and brace yourself for more horror. Until next time, stay spooked.